Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about retirement fears. I think fear is probably a little too strong a word to use. I think concerns would be more appropriate, but sometimes they're fearful. I used to tell my wife, jokingly, I'm only afraid of two things in this world, and that's my God and my wife, and not always in that order. And when I first started saying it, she'd get kind of ticked off at me, but she got over it, and now she thinks it's funny. It's a respectful, it's a reverent fear. It's not a fearful fear on either one. One of our biggest concerns is running out of money. We're all concerned about that. What happens if we run out of money? Well, that's something we need to be concerned about, and that's why most of us are pretty frugal. With inflation hitting the way it is, we have to watch where every dollar goes. Another thing that concerns us is unexpected medical costs. This was always a concern of mine until I got retired and found out a few things. We have a Medicare Advantage plan. I'm sure you all have, some of you have that, and some of you have different types of plans. But I had a couple of procedures done that were literally in the tens of thousands of dollars, and it just cost me a couple $100. It wasn't, I mean, it hurt, but it wasn't that big a deal. So, but that's one of our big concerns. Now, it doesn't apply to everybody. I realize that because I had a friend of ours. She had to have special eye surgery done. And it was like 10 grand for each eye, and it's like, oh, that hurt. That hurt her a lot. But it does happen. Um, we're also concerned about losing our independence. I firmly believe one day my wife or one of my kids are going to come to me and say, "Dad, I want your car keys." So far, it's not the case. I have almost I have a spotless driving record. Haven't had a speeding ticket in 50 years, literally. I've been in one wreck in my life that was my fault, and that was under adverse weather conditions, literally about 50 years ago. So, but one day, somebody's going to notice. We did that with one of a friend of the family. She was like in her early 90s, and she was still driving, and it was kind of scary because we had a chance to follow her a couple times, just accidentally. We weren't spying on her, but we let her daughter know that she really shouldn't be driving anymore. Somebody's gonna be doing that to me one of these days. But part of the losing independence is because of our declining health. Now, our health is going to decline unless we drop dead suddenly. It's going to be a slow decline for most of us, and that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt. The thing is, we can't continue to do some of the things we used to be able to do, but we can still spiritually grow. Because as I've said many times, we're in the last quarter of our life, and maybe that's the time where we can spiritually grow. Now, if I lose my independence and my wife is not around, one of her love languages is she's always supplied meals to people. So if she goes first, which that's my game plan, I don't know if that's hers or God's, but that's my game plan. She goes first. Um, I figure I can make a phone call a day and get meals delivered to my house for a long time, maybe 6 months or so. But sometimes it's important if we lose our independence. Sometimes it's important to let others serve us. If you've been a servant all your life, uh, let others serve us. No purpose, and boredom. We all run into this from time to time. Sometimes we get bored. Sometimes I get bored. I did this more of a hobby than I did anything. Uh, and I like it. I enjoy it. Hopefully, I'm getting better. I'm not sure. I'm getting a few subscribers, which I greatly appreciate. But we still have to have a purpose. I mean, this doesn't take hardly any time at all in a day's time, but we still have to find some purpose. And that purpose is going to be something you're going to have to determine what that is. We're also concerned, another thing we're concerned about is what if the stock market crashes or drops, has a correction? It won't crash anymore, but it could have a major correction. I personally am not in the stock market, but I know a lot of you guys are, and that's fine. If that's your thing, that's fine. I put my money, what little money I have, I've got it in other places. But what if the stock market makes a correction? You know, and I keep thinking the scripture says, "Where your treasure is, that's where your heart is." Also, I had a guy that worked for me. Uh, he worked for me for about 5 years. I think his name was Jason. I always call him Boomhauer, but that's another story. But anyway, he had this car. Man, he loved this. He was a young guy, 30 years younger than me. He loved this car. It was a matte finish. He customized it and blah, blah. He hardly ever drove it, but he had to bring it to work one day just to show me. He loved this car. But that was his treasure, and that's why I was thinking the whole time he was showing it to me. Now he was renting and didn't have two nickels to rub together, but he loved this car, so that was his treasure. Well, a couple of months ago, I was at my normal speedway, and this car pulls up. I knew it had to be his because there's only one like it, and I saw it a few years back. And I asked him where he got it, and he said he got it somewhere, but he didn't know the guy that did it. But he lost his treasure, so we have to be careful on where our treasure is. And another big concern is just not leaving a legacy. Now, when we think of legacy, we'd all like to leave something for our kids or grandkids. But when we think of a legacy, it's not just financial. Whether you like it or not, or aware of it or not, you are leaving a legacy right now for your kids and grandkids. What's that legacy going to be? Are you going to be that old grumpy person they don't like to be around? Or are you going to be a loving person they're going to remember for a long time? And that's about all I got for now. If you got anything out of this, like, share, subscribe. Until we meet again, I'm going to continue to press on towards that goal.